Okay, HadesOmega here. We are, I'm trying to make a HadesOmegaSPEC fuel catch can bracket 2.0. So like I got the fittings revised already, and all we need to do is I want to try to make a better bracket for this, like I remember when, if you remember from where we left off. So to do that, I need to I found out I need to grind down these little things here on the corner. They get in the way if I try to make a bracket. I don't know why they have them there. They must have some kind of bracket for this. I don't even know if Husky makes air compressors. Maybe they do. So what I'm trying to do is get this to fit over this flush, so I can drill holes in it and screw it in. But I can't do that because these kind of raised ridges here, they get in the way. So I first thing I got to do is let's see, it doesn't go all the way. So what I need to do is cut a little slot, and it is what I'm gonna do. And I hope there's nothing behind there. I hope this doesn't do anything. I don't think it does. I think it's just there for structural rigidity or something. But this is a solid block of like steel or aluminum, whatever it is. Actually, I don't even know what it is. Let me see. I got some magnets here. It's aluminum. Yeah, that's a solid block of aluminum right there. That's beefy. That's all I'm gonna say. Magnets do not stick to it. All right, so yeah. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use Mr. Handy Dandy cutting wheel tool here, and I'm just gonna cut a slot straight down like that. And hopefully it'll be wide enough to put that bracket on there. So that's the first thing we got to do. All right, here's it out. Okay, so here I got it on the vise, and I got it vised up on the adapter. So what I did is I held the piece of aluminum 90-degree stock there, and I pressed it up against this flat. And then I marked it with a silver marker because it's black, because you can't use a black marker. And then I just marked whatever this wasn't touching. So whatever is behind the silver marking to the base here is what I got to cut out. So pretty easy. Okay, so I got the first part done, the first side done. So that's what, man, I cut out quite a bit actually. But the good thing is it's solid. It's like I said, it's not part of the block itself. It's just, I think it's just there to make it stronger. And honestly, we're not going to run 120 something psi through this. So what I did is I slotted it with this. It's kind of hard to do because it's kind of hard to see. It's pretty easy to tell how far to cut it here and to here, but like how deep to cut it, it's hard to tell because I had like no marker for that, you know. I guess, I don't know if you could draw a line out here. It's a lot to cut out right there. You can see how close it winds up to the fitting. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it over, and then we'll do the other side, and then we'll see if Okay, so I got it done. So what I did is did the same thing. I had to move the fitting the other way though. So I have to move it back. But I used the Dremel there to kind of finish it, to open it up, and I got in there, so it fits in there pretty good. See, it's flush. It's got this little channel it's in, that way, you know, it still has some rigidity left to it. So that's the first step. And then next we got to go figure out how far we want this to be. Could be just all the way, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, we'll see. So what we can do is when we cut this, we can cut like along here. We can cut along here and make it shorter if we want to make it closer to whatever. My worry is that we don't want it sticking out too much, just in case the bike falls or something. It's not going to bust it right off, you know. But I would say try to get as far as possible from the frame. We don't want, yeah, so the problem we had with the clamp was that the bolt was hitting the bowl. So we want to get it as far away from the bolt as possible. That's my guess. So you might just try without cutting it first to see how it is if it's far away from the frame. But like I said, okay, so there's another example. So see how this side is just straight, and then there's a little channel cut into this one. Okay, not the prettiest job, but we'll get the job done. It'll be in the back anyways. You won't be able to see it. The good thing is it's aluminum. It was pretty soft to cut, so the Dremel didn't have a problem cutting it, and it didn't throw a bunch of sparks all over the place. As you can see, it's solid, so there's really nothing. There was really nothing behind this ridge. It's all there is there just to provide some kind of rigidity for the block. Okay, here's my hair. So I just got done cutting this out with this bigger piece here. So I'm continuing work on the bracket for this guy. So if you remember last time we cut the notches onto this, see, like right here, and then now I cut a smaller piece for the bracket. So basically it's gonna go like that. Like that, and then it's gonna bolt onto the frame. But I'm probably gonna have to cut it like this away. I'll have to see how much I'm gonna have to cut it, and also I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I guess I should start unbolting the engine mounts. So I'm gonna try to use 2 bolts. Okay, so where this guy's gonna go is like right around here-ish. And it looks like I cut it pretty good already, so I think I'm gonna want it. I'm probably gonna make a hole for it like somewhere here in the middle. Yeah, so it'll be like right around here-ish. It's a little low, but I think that should be okay. And then it's just gonna be back behind all this stuff here. So, but yeah, like I said, I think this is too far for it. So what we're gonna wind up doing is probably cutting this in half or something. It's probably a good start. But what we're gonna do first is, well, since we can mount it on this already, we may need to get longer bolts too. I'm gonna go ahead. Let's go ahead and take these bolts out. It's just a bolt and a nut on the other end, and we'll see if we have some extra. I don't think we're gonna have extra, because what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to make this bolt longer and use a spacer, because this guy here is closer. It's further in this way than that. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. So you can see this one is sticking out farther than this one. So we're gonna have to add a spacer here to make it even. Yeah, because this is not gonna bend at all. It's not gonna bend much anyway. But it'll be strong because it's already been made like an L shape. So, all right. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take the bolts out for the engine mount for now. It still has the bottom ones, so it should be okay. It has the bottom ones and the back ones, and there should be one on the top somewhere, like right here, I think. So yeah, the engine's not okay. The bolts are free, and they are 2 different sizes. I realized that they both have a 12 on the head part, but the actual bolt part is different. So this is bigger than this one. So it doesn't really make a difference, but I think we'll probably we'll use this one again. Well, this one right here we'll still use, but this one we're going to have to make longer because we're going to need a spacer to accommodate that. And I'll show you what we're... Okay, so what I'm going to use is something like this like some kind of spacer where it's going to go like this right here. So this one fits perfectly on this bolt, so it's this is the one that we're going to use, I think. Got a couple more. I definitely want to use steel as a material. This one's got some play to it. This one's got some play to it. So I got lucky on the first try. That's the one we want to use. So, and then we'll cut it down to however long we need it. So that's why it's always a good idea if you have like a project or something and you got these lying around to save them. So alright, so definitely that's too long. It's too long. I think it's only got to be like maybe like half of this. We also may be able to get away with just using a bunch of washers, but I think this is a better plan here. Yeah, so we'll probably use a washer here, and then stick it here. Put this back in. Something like that. But it definitely doesn't come out the other end now. So what I have to do is I have to try and measure the gap from here to here. So what I can do is, what I can do is drill a hole, drill the hole for this one already, right here, and then we'll bolt it on. Is what we'll do. We'll bolt it on, and then whatever the gap is, and the gap will be like back here somewhere. So you can see the gap right there. Or I can just clamp it on there. But so you can see if I hold it flat there's a gap. So what I can do is drill a hole in this to where we want it, and then we'll bolt it in, and then we'll just measure that gap. It's like a caliper or something, and then that'll be the gap, and that'll be the size of the this guy here. And we could probably adjust the length with a grinder or something. Like I said, I want to put a washer on it. Okay, so I got it marked off where I'm gonna drill the hole. So how I did that was I held it at the height that I wanted it at, and I just so what I did was I held it where I wanted it. So somewhere like around here is where I wanted it. So what I did is to get the x-axis, all I did was move it over until I got to the middle of the hole, and then I marked it. I marked it on the edge, and then I moved it back to where I wanted it again, and then I started moving it upward to about halfway in the hole. Then I put a mark where the middle part of the hole is, where I think it is, and then I marked it. And then all I did was get a ruler, and then I just drew a straight line through the marks, and where they intersect perpendicular is where we're going to drill the hole. And then I got the drill bit. So to start off for the drill, we're going to use this punch tool, and we're going to punch it. We're going to punch it like right here, and it'll make a little dimple so the drill knows where to go. Okay, so you can't really see what I'm doing here because it's kind of at a weird angle, but I got it here in my drill press vise right here. Actually fits in there pretty good, and yeah, you can probably see what I'm doing right here. And then I'm just gonna drill it. Hopefully I got space. It might hit the drill press vise, but. Okay, I got the hole drilled. It's a little close to the end. Hopefully it won't crack or anything, but I think it'll be okay. If it does, probably have to get a thicker piece of metal. I think that's pretty good though. Okay, so there it is. I've got it all bolted up, and I kind of got it the way I want. So it looks like what's going to happen is it's going to be like canted to the front a little bit, because the as you can see here, here's the bottom bolts. The bottom bolt is lower than the bolt that's on the frame, so it's going to be it's not going to be parallel with the ground. So that's what I'm going to say. So it's going to be a little bit crooked. We will probably want to try to get it as level as possible, and I think that's pretty much all I can do. Alternatively, no, well, yeah, you know what? We probably could have done that. We could have probably. So what I did was I just tried to give it a little bit of space between this and the frame right here. The engine shouldn't move. I don't think it should move. It's pretty. The mounts are solid, so. But we could have grinded this here to move that up a little bit, and then we could adjust the holes so we wouldn't have to cant it. But I think that's okay right now. I think it's tilted, like, you see how the engine is tilted right now? See how the engine tilts forward a little bit? That's at the same angle as the engine, which is that's okay. It's no big deal. It's just the fluid is going to be leaning forward a little bit. I guess that's no big deal. All right, so like I said, the reason that we wanted to bolt it on right now is to check how big a spacer we need. So there you go. That's how big a spacer we need. So this gap right here, or my finger, I'm trying to stick my finger in, that's what we have, that's the spacer we have to make. So I'm going to go ahead and measure that and then cut that spacer that we got here. So that is definitely, it's definitely too big for that. Right there, actually we can just hold it there and just mark it with a marker. Okay, so instead of using a spacer, I found out I can use a bolt. So that's another trick that I've learned over the years. If you need to use a spacer, you can use a bolt. And if you don't necessarily need one that long, this is probably a better choice right here. It's more economical too. It's more easier to find. So this one fits over, supposedly fit me. Okay, there we go. So it's going to fit over there like that, so it's no problem. And then it's going to slide back here. It's a little bit too big, and we're still going to put a washer. So I may have to grind it a little bit. But yeah, it's going to be like that. And we're going to drill our hole, and then that'll be our spacer right there. Actually, I think it's fine. It's perfect. So we've still got to have a washer in. Well, no, we don't have to have a washer. This is our washer right here, actually. Yeah, so it'll be fine this way. It may tweak the bracket a little bit, but I think that's okay. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and try to figure out where we're going to drill. I got the spacer. We don't need a colossal spacer, and it's kind of stuck back there. So on the skid plate somewhere. So there it is. That's what we're going to use for a spacer. I found a bunch of them too, so I won't feel bad if I use it up. Yeah, I'm like a bolt hoarder, man. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and drill the next hole. And how I'm going to do that is I don't know. Okay, so I got it marked up. Pretty good to mark it where that dot is on the end. So what I did was I held it onto the, like let's say that's the bolt right there. All I did was like lift it up, and I kind of just like moved it, and I marked it with the pen. So hopefully that works. If it doesn't, we can slot it, you know. It's not a big deal, as long as it's close. Okay, so I got the drill press all set up. I made sure to use a smaller bit this time, because if you remember correctly, one of the bolts are bigger than the other. So that's what I did. All right, here we go. Okay, looks good. That's how it turned out. You can see one hole's bigger than the other. Hopefully that will do the trick. Alright, yeah, I tried to walk a little bit in the beginning, and then it started to go in the right way. Okay, so looks like we're off by a little bit. I mounted it on there, and we need to grind it going that way. So I'm just gonna go just slot it basically. Okay, so I went and busted out the carbide bit because it's taking too long. So I went and slotted it a little bit, as you can see, and I think we're good. It looks so we'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and install it with the spacer and everything, and then we'll see if everything mates up. I still have to find a longer bolt though. Right. Okay, here's my gear. Got it on there. Look at that. Not too bad. Not too shabby. Looks pretty good actually. So the only issue is I'm trying to find a longer bolt. First I start off with this, but I didn't like how long it is, and I didn't like that it was an Allen head, and it looked different than all the other ones. So I went and found a bolt in my bolt box, probably from some car. It's a grade 7, just like the other ones too, just like this one. Yeah, interesting. So I wound up having to get a thicker. This needed to actually be thicker. I tried this with the washer, and it was still a little bit loose. So I wound up getting a thicker washer. Let's see. Okay. All right. Yeah. See. So it's just the same size nut, but it's one of these ones that has a washer already on it. I put a washer, so it spreads the load better. And then here we have you know what? I don't think we need a washer on this side. Hopefully. Yeah. So this one actually had a lock washer on it right now, and this other washer here is just slightly bigger. So maybe we might be able to use this, but the only issue, I may have to find longer bolts so, for both of them. So the thing is, it's kind of hard to tell, but it's kind of dark. But these are flush now. They're pretty flush. So at the end of this there's like a little a metal thing, like kind of like a spring metal or something, that it acts as a mechanical lock washer. These are mechanical lock washers, and they don't have the nylon. It's metal. So this one is like flush. It's in there a little bit. It has to stick out a little bit for it to work, and it is not. It's like flush right now. As you can see here, you got about a thread or two protruding from it, so that's no good. I can probably just take that one washer off, and I think this one will be squared away. We may need to find a bigger one for this guy. Unfortunately, I don't feel it, because this is a motor mount, and you don't want those things to come loose. It'll be all bad. So I cannot. It would not make me. I would not sleep well at night knowing that, right? So that's it. I think I'm gonna stop there for tonight. Basically, there's the bracket right there. I think what's gonna have to happen is we're gonna have to cut this shorter, so we can mount this guy here. Gotcha. Got it. So it's gonna be something like that. Wait a minute. Did I slot this wrong? Oh, I did. Did I slot it wrong? Oh my god, I slotted it the wrong way. I just realized that. Like, oh, I slotted it on the wrong side. It's supposed to be on this side. Oh, great. Okay, well, anyway, I guess I'll just, whatever I did on this side, I gotta do on this side. Dang it, I messed up. I totally messed up. Oh, man. Anyway, it's gonna look something like that. Except it's gonna be flipped the other way, because I put it in the wrong way. And that actually looks pretty good. I feel... So what's really going to limit us on how far this... I want to make it as close as possible, obviously, because I don't want it to stick out that much, but it looks okay. It's going to be somewhere like this, and I don't think we're going to mess with the top. All we're going to do is we're going to make it as close as possible to the bolts. So we want to have some clearance with the bolts. The biggest clearance issue is the bolts, is the bowl hitting the bolts. And I think we'll be okay. We'll find out how much. I'll stick it on there, and then we'll measure it, and we'll see how much we can chop off with this until this gets pretty close to those bolts. And so the way it'll go is we'll install the plate, and then torque it down, and then put this on. And yeah, I still got to drill holes into this, and then bolt this, screw this onto this, and then we should be good to go. Hopefully. I realize this is it's like a pound. It's pretty heavy stuff, heavy duty. I don't know if this bracket will crack or anything, so if it does, we may have to go with the steel one. It seems like a lot of work just to get the catch can on there, but I've got to make it Hades Omega spec. So yeah, so we got to shorten this, and then we're gonna drill holes, and I gotta cut the other side of this again, just like I cut this. It's a good thing I didn't reclock the fittings, because we're gonna have to. We still gotta grind it. I'm gonna knock that out before I finish today. So, all right. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this this part of the video. This part of the Hades Omega Spec fuel catch can. It looks like it's turning out really good. I think I like this a lot better than clamping it to the frame. I think this is a lot better. It feels like it's a lot more secure. It looks nicer. I will probably, when everything's all done, we'll probably round off the edges a little bit to make it not so sharp. And then yeah, so I think that's good. I don't see it interfering with anything. Your feet are like way back here, so there's no way you should be touching that. Just because you'd be like touching the exhaust. So yeah. All right.